So you probably have seen this gentleman running around camp because he's the guy that's standing in the middle of the row with the camera. It's Mr. Jersey Boy here. So back in 2018, I got an email from some random person saying, hey, I go to RYLA in New Jersey, and I would love to learn information about your RYLA. What you guys don't know is this RYLA is the largest RYLA in the entire Rotary world. So not only do we have the largest RYLA, it's the only one that spans 3 days like we do with all volunteers. A lot of RYLAs have 500 kids, but they're paying people to do this. There is not one paid person here, okay? Everyone is, besides the camp, they're getting paid. You get a check of zeros, that's what you should get. And hugs and thank yous, that's what we get. That's how we get paid. And laughter and all the good stuff. So our RYLA is extremely unique. There's RYLAs in every quadrant of the world. All of the people in charge of putting RYLA on, like myself, work together. And so this gentleman reached out to me as a 20-year-old and said, hey, I'd love to come visit your RYLA. And he did that in 2018. When he was here, he got to experience everything great. We actually made him cry because we gave him some advice and personal information that we said, hey, this is what we think would make you a better person when you go off to go do your thing. And so we invited him back, and now, not only is he someone who went through RYLA and was an alumni, he is now the camp director at 25 years old in New Jersey. So he's doing that. So we're very proud of that, but he's also really cool, and you're going to see in the video, he's a television news broadcaster in Mississippi. Like, who the heck wants to go to Mississippi? But that's where he is. So please welcome to the stage David Edelstein, otherwise known as Jersey.
Remember what I said?
What's up, guys? I don't know what happened. I've been filming all week, and someone said, you got to go in front of the camera. I'm like, I've never been in front of a camera before. Just only 5 days a week for 10 times a week. Twice, 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock news. We'll get there. I'll show you. You'll see a little bit of who I am. It's different looking this way. It's a little bright. It's kind of funny. I don't know. Is this good? Is this okay? All right, hold on. I got to do it for the camera, right? There we go. I don't have TikTok or anything. I'm not cool, so you guys will have to help me post that later. By the way, I want to start with probably the most important thing I will say to you guys all week. And I know that's weird because we've had so many good presentations where they leave that for the end. No, I am not Pete Davidson. Yeah, I see your faces. Oh, yeah, the what? I was thinking that too. I got it like 10 times today, 5 yesterday. Some people are like, you're the guy from TV. I'm like, yeah, I do sports. No, you do comedy. Maybe I do now. It's stand-up over here. Everyone know Pete Davidson? Good, you know me. You tell Pete Davidson I'm David Peteson over here. I don't have jokes. I'm a news reporter, a sports reporter. I just say like the truth, and then I guess sometimes it's funny, so if you laugh, I appreciate it. So that's my funniest joke of the day. I tell people my hardest question of the day when I start an interview is, can you say and spell your first and last name? None of them laugh. They just go ahead and say and spell their first and last name. It's a joke. Whatever. It is an honor to be here. Thank you. It's an honor to be here speaking at RYLA 5330 because I get a cool t-shirt out of the deal. But not only that, because RYLA has been a huge part of my life. I do want to say I am the final presenter of RYLA 2023, which, yeah. Don't clap for me. Clap for the other speakers we had before me who made it really hard to be the last speaker at RYLA 5330 in 2023. Mike Norkin and I had a nice conversation last night. RYLA camp director from New Jersey to RYLA camp director in California. I said, is it a privilege to be last speaker, or is this like a punishment? Like Scott Greenberg was right before me. And we had Jackie, and we had Juliet. And I'm like, wow, just leave the last guy last. They're all sleeping anyway at this point. Hope the beds are comfortable. But yes, RYLA is a huge part of my life. But despite how many times I might be on television, and despite how many times there could be, at this moment in my current job, at any given moment, besides online, so who knows, an infinite number, but 1 million people actually in the state of Mississippi, a third of the whole state, watching me. But I'm usually just talking to the camera, so I set it up so I could just do that, and I could ignore everything else. But I'm still, every time I go on air, despite how many times I practice, and how everyone says, oh, you sound so natural, or how did you do that? You kind of just telling us what happens, or the teleprompter goes down, and I just kind of tell people what I remember, and we go forward. That I'm still, I get nervous beforehand, but I'm also excited every time. And that's kind of how I feel right now, if I can be honest. I've spoken in front of groups before. 350 is a percentage of 1 million, if I do my math correct. But I'm still nervous, but I'm still excited at the same time. And what I realized by doing my job, which we'll get into in a moment, I'll show you some examples, is that nervous and excited are actually the same emotion. How many of you have ever been excited before? Can you raise your hand? Excited for anything, just excited. Cool, all right, put your hands down. How many of you have ever been nervous before? Yeah, we got a verbal yes for that one. How many of you have ever been excited and nervous at the same time? Oh, that one gets some cheers. It's normal. Actually, during lunch, I was introduced to Marilyn King, who's in the back, right over there. Hello. You see? Say hello. She's with Rotary. She is an Olympian, ladies and gentlemen. As a sports broadcaster, I was like, I must meet this person right now and do an interview. Get the camera. But what's interesting is I was already planning to say that there was a study done with Olympians. I don't know when it was. I'll get those facts for you, fact checking as a journalist. But there was a study done that said they spoke with Olympians about what it was that mentally made them able to succeed. How did the best athletes that aren't professionals, they're not paid, Olympians are amateurs, how did they get to that peak performance? And the answer was that the Olympians were the best, the ones that were successful, too. I mean, they're all successful. The ones who medaled were the ones they spoke with. Where they were the best at convincing themselves, even when they felt like they were nervous, and that was the only thing they were feeling, that instead they were excited. And I mention that today because not only am I probably standing here nervous and excited to present in front of you all, my first time presenting at RYLA 5330 and spending the whole week behind the camera and asking you guys to say the words, but I imagine that you all must be feeling some mix of both emotions too. Right now, we are a few hours away, I don't mean to make us all sad, but a few hours away from packing up the buses and heading back to our home communities. Many cases, maybe you're 15 minutes away here in Crestline. Maybe you're in some of the other town names. I don't know where they are still, and we'll ask you for geography help. I know LA and San Diego. Is that that's what I need, right? Google Maps. But I imagine after a week like this, you must also be feeling a little bit excited from what happened this week, but also probably a little bit nervous too. Because now the responsibility is for each one of you to go back to your communities and go back to the environments where you were before this and share these lessons that you've learned. Every single one of you, and I truly believe this, I tell this to my team 3,000 miles away from here too. Every one of you was selected to be here for a reason. Maybe you didn't know the reason. Maybe now you know the reason. Maybe you still have yet to figure out what the reason is going forward, or you'll continue to learn more reasons. But you will. But it's not that you were chosen to be here because you guys are the best of the best of the best, and you guys deserve these lessons, and only you 350 of the entire District 5330 of Southern California get to know this. In fact, it's the other way around. At RYLA 7490 in New Jersey, we use the term servant leadership, which means a different kind of leadership where you are supporting your team, you're serving. All of you as leaders are change agents. A leader is a change agent, someone who can make a difference, someone who has the capacity to think and to learn and to grow and to pull out the best in others, just like you've all done this week. And it's now your responsibility to go back to your schools, to go back to your religious institutions, to go back to your families, to go back to your friend groups, to go back to your sports, and anything else that you might be part of. And bring what you learned here from everyone. And not all at once, not in, let's host the RILO ourselves. Maybe do that, that's cool. Start an Interact Club. But share those lessons that you've learned with those around you. Because that's how you make the world a better place. It starts with you guys. That's why you were chosen. That's why every single one of you is here. That's why alumni, that's why you're back. Because you're people who got that, and within 6 months of having your program, wanted to come back and continue to help these people continue to make those ripple waves. DGLs, that's why you're here year after year after year. Because you feel that draw and that passion. No matter what age you are, I love the fact that there's people of all ages in this room and all experiences. Because we all believe in the same core values and of Rotary and what we're doing at RILA, which is to share what we learn. Because it's not ours. It becomes ours by sharing it, not keeping it a secret. But that's intimidating. As leaders, you can be nervous and excited to do that same thing at the same time. That is allowed, so that is okay. And if anything, all the other speakers have already made that understandable, and I'm just repeating something they've already said. The thing is that I feel the same way before I go on air, and there was, I have a very interesting story. A lot of you have asked me all week, you know, oh, so you're from New Jersey. Oh, so you're from Mississippi. Oh, so you're from New York. Oh, so you're in California. Oh, so you're from RILA. It's like all these aspects come together. My story is kind of crazy. You've given me a chance to reflect on it as I've come here to speak. When I go on air every time, I know that I have a responsibility in a similar way to the people who are watching, and I feel nervous and excited. I want to tell you a story about a 5th grader that I remember who also was trying to do something like this, trying to do something that he was interested in and passionate about, but also was excited in that moment, and at the same time was a little bit nervous, let's say. This 5th grader is part of TV Club in middle school. It's his first year middle school. I don't know how that 5th grader found out about TV Club, but he did. Started going in early to school, extra motivation to get up and go. And he starts learning like the graphics machine. You know, like you click this button and like a star pops up. Cool. Here's the music machine. You want to play the music in the beginning. You click this and like, I remember he told me Fireflies from Owl City. Does anyone know that song? Is that still popular? Yeah, that was like the theme song apparently at the time. I don't know. But you choose the music. You get to choose the music. Cool, that machine works. You get, and I know this dates a lot of this person I'm talking about. There was a VHS tape where you used to put in the tape. There's one for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Because if you used it, it used to get like worn out. So you had 5 of them, so it would get worn out 5 times slower. You put the tape in, you rewind it, and you then record that day's morning announcements for the school. And it's played on TVs all across the school. That 5th grader eventually was like, I want to try and like sit at the desk. Like there's this like, camcorder, kind of like that setup right there. I want to try and sit at the desk. And a 5th grader gets up there and he's given the like piece of paper to read, sits at the desk, and it's like you're looking, just like I have said right now, looking the other way. Okay, there's the camera. The person who usually anchors does the camera and clicks the record button, and they're like 3, 2, 1. Well, we actually don't say 1. 3, 2, go. In broadcasting. And the 5th grader reads the script and doesn't know what one of those words is. And so they do another take, and another take, and another take. The word that I was told it was is conscientious. As a 5th grader, hard to pronounce. Maybe you don't know that word. So the advisor of that club says to the 5th grader, I'm sorry, I know you tried, but we're going to have our master Sean do it. Goes down there. And that 5th grader, who you will in a moment realize was me, was forced to sit at the VCR deck, the VHS tape, take his tape that they just recorded, his first ever attempt, and the way you rewind a tape, by the way, one by one, frame by frame, finger by finger, rewind his tape so that the master Sean, the 8th grader, could sit up there and record over it. That didn't feel good. But as Scott talked about, bouncing, right? I still kept trying at that. You remember that moment because it's kind of like an origin story. And I feel like in a lot of ways we here this week have discovered maybe a little bit more about what our origin stories are. Maybe what our stories are in general, or how they relate to others. In my case, I wound up getting to 8th grade, and I tried again and again and again, because I could have stopped right there. I could have stopped and maybe never become anything close to who I am today, doing what I wound up loving to do and now do as a daily profession. But by 8th grade, things changed a little bit. So I have a little video to show you. If we could play video 1. Our friend Sarah's up there helping out. Let's take a look for a moment. We're going to skip ahead like 36 seconds. We had the Pledge of Allegiance first. I mean, we don't have to. Okay, here we go.
Today is June 17th, Friday, 2011, and it is Lazy Day. Today is the last day for TV Club.
There will be candy sales after school by the auditorium on B-Day. All candy is $2.
The Media Center will be closed to students on Tuesday, June 21st, next Tuesday, and Thursday, June 23rd, next Thursday. There will be a cart outside the Media Center's door for you to return any library books or magazines.
Today's lunch is Anthony Franco pizza night.
Very intense news. Very intense.
Announcements by Lee Kuhn. Please pardon the intro.
All right, we can pause it there.
Good morning, Westbrook.
Oh, just for the record, that guy, while I'm sitting there, I was running for like class treasurer. Talk about another blow. That guy was also running against me for class treasurer, and we had him on my show to broadcast that he was supposed to get voted in, and he won. Oh yeah, snap. Well, that's sad. That's sad. That's a whole other leadership story we could talk about another time. But yeah, that was me. And by 8th grade, I was doing the thing that I enjoyed doing, and I was still every time nervous and excited. But just because you're nervous or excited doesn't mean that you stop. Doesn't mean it because if you mess up and you don't do it perfectly, you stop. A lot of you guys you have so much emotion right now. We have so much feelings and so much words and so many things condensed. How do you explain RYLA after it happens? I never have the answer. I've probably been to 10 across the country and virtually in Nebraska and Mississippi and New York and all these places. You still don't know. But you guys are going to try and communicate those lessons when you go back to your communities, despite you're going to choose like the Olympians, that nervousness into excitement. And now, if I can, I'm not going to brag because it's not bragging, but it's just showing the leadership message here. Let's pull up video 2 for a second, Sarah, if we can. What happens when you keep trying? Oh yeah.
This is the moment that Oxford, Mississippi, and the whole Ole Miss fan base has been waiting for.
We've got our pads on. We're ready to go. These teams look like they're set to play some football right now, too.
David's set to face a lot of different opponents in the ring. Don't worry, I'm not about to be one of them. But when he's here, he says it's important to represent his home state. The biggest difference between traditional sports and esports is that esports are played electronically, but coaches and players say the teamwork, communication, and goal setting are the same.
I'm excited to find out what we have coming up in sports. You're doing a great job anchoring, by the way. I really thank you. I mean, I've anchored sports in the past. I've kind of gotten impressed with practice. You want to try something funny? Can we do something? Yeah.
Why does your Ole Miss team look so different every single season? And he says that's because the Rebels do a great job of molding their offensive and defensive schemes to the players they have.
And home team says it's nacho night. See what I did there? Yes, I'm sorry. I did just say that on TV. Actually, now each of you present for the
Oh.
Whether you're rooting for Ole Miss or Southern Miss.
Oh, okay.
These are some roundabouts. You can go like this, and it creates a fan. You know what I mean? We spoke with both teams after the game saying they knew the game plan was going to be to contain Zion Williamson, the Duke graduate having his lowest mark in scoring since November 25th at just 18 points. One of just 6 times this season, he's had fewer than 20. I don't think I'm going to need this Winter hat anytime soon, but I will tell you why some Mississippians might want some Carolina Panthers gear. Don't worry, I am at the podium where they're going to be giving some speeches this afternoon in just a few hours, but I will not be giving one myself. With Rodrigo behind the plate catching, and Dave back playing the outfield, the brothers say it's not just them that are closely related. Everyone on the field is like a brother.
I thought Ole Miss should be more disappointed maybe than even MSU because we knew that they were going to lose maybe to Georgia, or at least what I'll say is not that we knew, but if they did lose to Georgia MSU, it wasn't going to be as big of a deal, but they had to keep the game close. They didn't. The closer one though, because as you posted online in the title of the article, it's a heartbreaker for Ole Miss because, I mean, they had the destiny in their own hands at the end there and just weren't able to finish the job.
What is it about Jackson Prep and
Yeah.
the support you have here from your teammates and family that have prepared you for the next
And I see you brought your friends along here too. Here, Mickey, I heard that you can do something special for us. Can you give us a hottie toddy? Okay, there we go. We'll take it. And now,
I was waiting for the dog one. I wanted to make sure we saw that. All right, we can pause it here. I can keep going. It's fun. Thank you very much, Sarah. I appreciate it. And yes, I was, you might have seen it, the first slide there. That was an award submission. Again, I always feel weird talking about my accomplishments because it's kind of, I do what I do, and I feel like it's a public service. And again, servant leadership and doing sports, broadcasting plays so many different roles, which again is a whole other topic, and I'm more than happy to talk about any of this with any of you who are interested. But to conclude the story of the fact that that fifth grader who could have been upset about saying the word conscientious wrong and he got kicked off. By the way, Sean, that guy who replaced me and was there, he's my best friend, so we're good. He actually lived next to me growing up, and I saw him in high school again, and we still keep in touch. But just this month, I won first, second, and third place for the sports category. So it's kind of in Mississippi. Thank you. But it shows that, you guys, when we go out and talk about RYLA, when we talk about anything, when we do anything in life, really, it's going to be tough. And trying to encapsulate what RYLA is tough. And actually, that's the project I've been trying to work on all week with interviews and things like that. And what was interesting as I've been trying to encapsulate RYLA and trying to do what all of us in this room are going to have the responsibility of doing for the rest of our lives, really, because we've taken that on. Leadership is a responsibility to lift others up and share what we know. As I've been doing the interviews with the staff around here, everyone in the black shirts, I still have some more to do, by the way, guys. We'll finish that up. One thing they keep saying to me has really made me think this week. They say, what inspires them as leaders is when they go down the hill, when the participants, you guys, go down the hill today, how you're different than when you first came up here to 4,500 feet above sea level. And I'm thinking, wow, we're all going to go down the hill, and we're all going to be different people, and we're all going to have to go into those environments. And so the question is, how do you do the communication? How do you share what you've learned with others? And so that's what I want to do a quick few minutes on today. That's the message here. So when I'm leading RYLA conversations with my team, I always say that there's 3 steps to figuring something like this out. What? So what, and now what? It's kind of what your DGLs have done during discussions. They ask you what happened. They say, okay, now that you told me what happened, so what? What does that mean? And now that you've determined what it means, now what? We've covered the what this week. I think by now I've heard such inspirational stories come out of everyone in this room. We've got to the so what. So now the question is, now what? And that's the thing. So can I have a volunteer real quick who wants to come up on stage with me? I saw your hand first. I was just kind of walking this way. I'm sorry, guys. We'll have some more in a second. Come on up here real quick. I want to, let's give a round of applause. What's your name, please? I'm sorry. I've asked you all the names a million times. I apologize. It's just hard for me. What's your name?
Alicia.
Alicia. Thank you very much, Alicia. I'm David. Nice to meet you. Or Jersey, it depends on what state you're in. Here, I'm Jersey. Can you do me a favor? You're going to stand right here, kind of like in the center. And I would like you to do me a favor. Can you reach, just don't move, you're going to stay here. I need you to reach from that wall and touch that wall and that wall at the same time, please. Can you just touch them both? Just stretch a little more. Okay, let's warm up a little bit. All right, some arm movements. All right, stretch. All right, now, okay, reach. What's going on?
I mean, I can't physically touch the 2 walls at the same time.
Right. Can I get another volunteer here? And 2 more people? I saw you 2 right next to each other. I'm going to get this side next, I promise. I'm looking around. I'm trying to... Oh, the sunglasses again. Hello again.
Hello.
All right. You guys together. Can you hold hands here, in between? All right. I need you guys together. Can you reach and touch that wall and that wall at the same time, please? And I'll move out of the way so people can see this. All right, try it. All right, yay, this is better. Oh, yeah, splits, be careful. I'm not that flexible. All right, cool. I think we need a few more people, maybe. Can I get 5 more people? This is going to be really hard to differentiate. I see in the red shirt right there, yeah, sweater, and the hat back there too, right over here, right there with the hat. I'm sorry, I'm pointing at all of you. It's hard to see. Yeah. No, I'm talking about you with the beanie, and 2 more here. Come on up. You guys could rest for a second. Hold on. Don't hurt yourself, please. You have like an hour bus ride coming up.
Oh, no, I'll be fine. I'll just get some surgery later. I'll get some surgery.
All right. Let's see. Coming up. Oh, I've got a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
More people are coming. I don't even know if I called on you. Well, don't go off the stage, though. I realize I just kind of maybe did it dangerously. Reach as far as you can without, going off the stage on this edge. We could have someone come over here. Do me a favor, yeah, come right over here. Stand on the ground here. Hold his hand. Reach. We got this wall over here. We do. Do we have this wall over here? All right. Right. Well, let's be careful. Let's safety first. Are we doing it? Are we touching both walls at the same time? I think we are. All right, you guys can rest for a second. Thank you so much. You guys could sit back down. I appreciate it. All right. While they're going, you can give them a round of applause real quick. All right. Leadership, ladies and gentlemen, is about bringing others in and expanding your reach. One person alone cannot reach both walls at the same time, no matter how hard you try, unless you just somehow are really giant, or if the walls are really close, of course. These walls. Leadership is about expanding your reach. When you go back to your communities, if you think about it in that mindset of leadership is about expanding your reach, bringing others in, finding others that are willing to work with you. That's something else that the leadership team here at Ryla told me about, how they flow and how they just are connected by the values and what they do here. If you find those people and you share the messages of Ryla in conversations and lead by example and show your effort, you can expand your reach and accomplish the goal. Now I need a few more volunteers to show one other half of this real quick. All right, I see. This is really difficult to point at people. All right, we got it. In the back, I see 2 hands all the way back there. You guys can come up. We got 2 right here coming up. Another San Francisco Giants hat. Yep, you 2 coming up. Yellow bandana. Hat. Few people. That's good for right now. And we could all do this after as well, even if you're not called up right now. I appreciate the volunteers, and that makes it really easy for me. All right, coming up here. So we got leadership is about expanding your reach. Awesome. All right, but I want to show you that in just a different way. It's not only about being able to accomplish goals by bringing people in and reaching across. When you're going back to all your clubs and things like that and finding ways to bring people in. Because by doing that, you are being a leader. As we say at Ryla 7490, it's our main theme. Leaders build teams, teams build leaders. Here, we've experienced leaders building teams, you guys. Teams building leaders, also you guys, by being in those teams. Now we're continuing that cycle of leaders building teams and teams building leaders, and it keeps going. But it's not only about expanding your reach by bringing those people in and building teams, and then through those teams leading by example and showing those discussions. It's not always, for some people it might be words. For me, words mostly come easy, except I can be very wordy at times, but we're trying to limit that here on a time clock. But sometimes it could be just by being yourselves and showing what you learned, by how you've changed as a person. All right, now I need one person first. I'm going to ask you, sir. Carlo? Hello? We've met already. I know. Hi. Thank you. All right, I would like you to stand, please, right here. Mind if I put my arm around you? Is that okay? Just to demonstrate the example here. All right, Carlo here is going to be a leader. He is a leader. Are you a leader?
I am.
All right, cool. Thank you. He's going to expand his reach, but he's going to go back to his community now. Where are you from?
Lake Elsinore.
I know where that is. Wow, there's a lot of them. Okay. All right. Can you put your hands out in front of you? You're reaching. He's reaching. He's expanding his reach this way. And I need 2 people, please. 1 and 2. You're all going to be part of this. Don't worry. I'm just getting in order here. All right. Can you turn and also face this way? Close enough that you're standing next to each other here. So that Carlo can put his hands, if you guys are okay with it. If you're not, let me know and you don't have to participate in this. To put his hands on, this is a good example. Thank you for doing that, actually. On their shoulders. There's a chance that you can impact one person and one person and one person, and sometimes that will happen. You might get 1 person, you might get 2. But here, I want you to move over to your right just a little bit. And you, sir, if you could come over here, and can you put 1 hand on each of their shoulders? Stand next to, over here, to Catherine, thank you. All right. He's expanding his reach. Carlo has now gone back to Lake Elsinore, and he has impacted 1 and then now 2 people. All right? And we'll use this as an example. All right, now I need 3 people. Coming over here. Alyssa, can you stand here? Can you put your hand, if you're okay with it, on her shoulder? Stand in front of her a little bit. On this shoulder? There we go. Yep, you can stand forward just a little bit, just to give some more room. Like, no, yep. We're just trying to expand, reach. All right, can you come over here? We'll have you stand right next to her. You can put one hand here, one hand on her shoulder. No, you're good to stand there so far. Everyone's hands far. This is cool, actually. I like that triangle. And then you can put a hand on her shoulder, too. And then number 3, Alejandro, can you stand here? And you're also going to put one hand on her shoulder, too. All right, cool. Now we got 3. So in this case, you've got 2 people impacting the same person and 2 people impacting one each individual. All right, now I need some more people. Can you come over here? One hand on her shoulder, facing here. Right here. You stand here. Cool. 2 more people. We're running out of people quick here. We're using them all. Come on over. Got hands, everyone. One on each. Actually, you don't have to put your hand on her. Just one person. Each person has 2. 2, 4, 6. 2. You're good. You stand here. Put your hands on her. Yep. 1. You come over here. So we actually ran out of volunteers quicker than the whole multiplying thing happened. What's going on here? Let me see. Looks like to me, Carlo has impacted 2 people, who impacted 3 people, who impacted 6 people. Think about how this could keep increasing. You don't have to impact everyone. When Carlo goes back to his community in Lake Elsinore, and you guys go back wherever you're going, and sometimes it could be across the country or across the world, as I've happened to experience over time, if you impact one person, it doesn't have to be big. Sometimes it's just a smile as you're passing by them. That's an impact. That's a RYLA message. Sometimes it's a deep conversation about something at all different levels. Look at how that multiplies. You're creating a ripple effect. So sometimes I know it can feel overwhelming with the amount of information you've been provided. And you guys are good. Thank you very much, by the way. Thank you. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming after you've gone through a RYLA program of 3 long days, intense, to try and explain it. Your parents or guardians are going to ask you. Your friends are going to ask you. Your teammates are going to ask you. Your teachers are going to ask you. Your Rotary Club who sponsored you is going to ask you, what did you learn and what did you do? And you're going to be like, where do I start? What do I say? Sometimes it doesn't have to be overwhelming. What I want you to know is that by just being yourselves, and as the change and growth that we've experienced together here this week, you are already going to be leading by example. Bring people in, expand your reach. Know that sometimes, even as you're bringing people in to accomplish your goals, you don't have to be the one person, if it's not in you, if it's not your style, to be the team leader, because you also need the team supporters and people who are good at their job, do your job, right? And then work as a whole team. You can also impact one person. And that person will send it on, and send it on, and send it on to more and more, and it will multiply exponentially. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we change the world. One person at a time, because one is really a lot. What? So what? Now what? You know what this is. You've learned from your experienced and amazing leaders here, the staff, and the Thousand Pines staff, and your DGLs and the alumni. So what? I know you get that. I've heard it. I'm confident in that. And you guys should be too. So I want you to also be confident in the next step. Now what? Going back home and bringing this with you. And knowing that you can, even if whether you do or do not want to, or even do return as an alumni to this program, which you can, there are so many avenues to be yourself and take these lessons into everything. And that's what our responsibility is as Rylarians and alumni and people from this program, to go back to your communities and bring the messages with you in your style, by example, and by sharing them. It's not a secret. It's supposed to be sharing it with everyone else. So I believe, and it says it on all my bios online, if you ever find one, that I believe, we all change the world just by being yourselves. And here this week, you've learned how to be such an impactful person of yourself for others. As we say, for others, through others, in service. Service above self is Rotary's motto. For others, as the staff did for you guys this week, is for others, but you guys serving and doing what you do and being a leader for others and supporting everyone together and rising up through others, meaning working with other people, with those values that you learned here and the mentalities of connection in mind. So you guys are going to be going on the buses and having that experience too. And I hope it's one that is rewarding. I hope this week has been rewarding. I hope it's been powerful. And I hope that you're able to share that with everyone. I want to end by just sharing one more story that I learned this week. It's very quick. It's 1 minute long. The other question I've been asking, and sorry, spoiler alert for those I haven't interviewed yet, but I asked the staff here at Riley 5330, there's a time capsule. And in 100 years from now, the staff of Riley 5330 will still be around, of course. We're just going to be partying at the beach instead of freezing up here. Just kidding. But we'll still be around in 100 years. But the people who are running the program, they will be taking something out of this time capsule that will help them carry on this feeling that we've created. And every single person mentioned to me that it's not about the shirt. They're not going to put a shirt in the time capsule. They're not going to put a water bottle or a note or even a recording of our speeches. But they're going to put pictures of you guys and how you've all bonded throughout the week. And how from day one you show up and didn't even want to throw a Frisbee around with each other. And I got some people to come over and like, let's throw it around. Yay, we just got off a bus. To being the community that you were just hours later, really, let alone 3 days. You guys have the power to do that in your home communities too. You've learned what's possible from Mike and his whole staff and everything that happened this week. You've learned it's possible. And so that's the message. So I just encourage you all, the charge is, in your own way, by bringing others in, and by just keeping these lessons with you, and as you continue to learn, because it doesn't end here, it's starting here. The way that real time, you know what the time capsule is? The time capsule is you guys. Time capsule is me. Time capsule is everyone in this room. And we're being the time capsule by passing those messages forward to other people. So please, please, I'm getting emotional right now just thinking about it, for real. Because it means so much to me. Go out there and take what this program does, that we love, and that I hope you guys have loved too, and go out there and change the world. Thanks, guys.